So we are back for Bible Burst round 2. It only took me about 19 and a half months to work from round 1 to round 2, but man, we made it back, and here we are. You guys will have to excuse me, excuse my iPhone as it's about to die, but you guys will have to excuse me as I have to keep my tone down because both kids are asleep right now. I'd like to keep it that way if possible, and so I'll probably be kind of whispering through most of this this little burst here, but I'm close enough to the camera that I think I can pull it off. So I want to keep these more like burst-ish than the first one, 16 minutes. Not what I'm looking for, man. Let's go 4 or 5 minutes and let's get out the door. So let's get right into it, man. I got all my notes in front of me that you guys can't see. Chapter 2 is jam-packed, man, with all kinds of stuff, just as every book of James is. I mean, chapter 1, talking about faith and works and perseverance. I mean, it's crazy, man. And so I just want to focus in on a couple of things from chapter 2 that really, really spoke to my heart, and maybe through God, they'll speak to you guys too. The first one is chapter 2, verses 8 and 9, which read, "If you really keep the royal law found in Scripture, love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing right. But if you show favoritism, you sin and are convicted by the law as lawbreakers." So a couple of things, man, about that verse is the first thing, looking in the Douglas Moo Commentary, the first thing that I learned was the word royal right there, which is kind of an interesting use of that adjective if you think about what royal normally means. If you go back to the Greek, that could be interpreted as kind of supreme or governing. So basically, what James is trying to hint at here is if you keep kind of the most important law that's found in Scripture, then you're doing right. Well, what is the most important law that's found in Scripture? Well, I did a little digging and some cross-references, and I found Matthew 22, verses 37 through 40, which Jesus literally says, in response to the question that he was asked, which was, what is the greatest commandment? He basically said, love God with all your heart. Yeah, my phone is definitely going to die. He said, love God with all your heart, number 1. And number 2, love your neighbor as yourself. That is the greatest commandment. So the first thing I pulled away from all of this is we are to love our neighbors as ourselves. And if you show favoritism in any way to anyone, that is not love. So that's the first thing I pulled away. The second thing I pulled away was a little further down in verse 10, which reads, "For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it." So this really spoke to me, man. This really spoke to me because it basically reminded us that nobody's perfect. It basically reminded us that, you see the guy down the street that seems to be doing everything right. I mean, he seems to be just keeping all the laws. He seems like super holy. He seems like super righteous. But yet, this reminds us that we all sin. We all sin somewhere. And I remember a guy, Ty Allison, a guy who was in my Bible study group back in Charlotte, North Carolina, when I lived there, and I was in group with, about half a dozen guys or so, and we got together on a regular basis and just dug into the Word and tried to learn, what was going on. And he had a line that I think his grandmother may have said to him that I have not forgotten. And she said, "Ty, don't judge somebody else because they sin differently than you do." And I'm like, man, that's good, dude. That's good because, don't point out the speck in your neighbor's eye when you forget about the plank that's in your own eye. I think that's from Scripture. It's in Scripture, somewhere. And so this just reminded me that we all fail, right? And we all need Jesus, man. We need His perfection because we can't do it on our own. Because none of us, not a single person, is perfect. We all fail somewhere, and we need Jesus. And one of the cross references I had here was Galatians 3:10. And if my computer is not going to die, I can read that for you. So this one's good. Galatians 3:10. "For all who rely on the works of the law are under a curse, as it is written. Cursed is everyone who does not continue to do everything written in the book of law." So basically, here's what this means, at least what it means to me. God demands perfection. but we could never give him that perfection. We could never satisfy his need for perfection. But who can? The only one, Jesus. So I'll see you guys next time, man. I'm actually planning to knock out a few of these in this session, so I'm going to see you guys here in about 35 seconds. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Penelope, say thanks.
Thanks.
Yep. If you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube channel or like the Facebook page or follow me on Instagram, Twitter at jschultzf30, whatever you guys can do, man, I really appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.